Hi guys, and welcome to our very first episode of our blog show, Mad About Movies, or MAM as we like to call it. As you can see, we're here at Stratford Picture House and we'll be bringing you all the gossip from the hottest new movies. On today's show, we have a very special DC versus Marvel panel debate. Also, our MAM of the Week, dedicated to one of the most talked about films all week, bringing you the good, the bad, and all the gory details. But first up, here's our scene and must scenes of 2014 so far. Let's see what you guys had to say. What films have you recently seen?
I've seen 4.
Last film I probably saw was like Spider-Man.
The latest film I saw was the latest X-Men movie.
The Amazing Adventures of Spider-Man.
It was X-Men.
Battle Royale.
The recent film that I've seen was X-Men Days of Future Past.
I've recently seen Haunted House.
I've seen Noah. Just very amazing, brilliant.
And what film would you like to see?
I would like to see the Transformers.
I'm looking forward to the next Hobbit movie.
The Teenage Mutant Turtles. It looks pretty cool.
I'm waiting for the part 3. It's gonna be this year or next year. Of Thor. Yeah, of Thor. Yeah.
Mrs. Brown Boys.
I would like to see Star Wars.
I'm looking forward to see how they do Batman vs Superman on DC, which is due to come out I think next year or the year after.
So we got some interesting responses from the public, and I would like to know what you guys think. So what film have you seen recently?
Well, like a lot of the guys out on the street, I've seen both the Marvel films, Amazing Spider-Man and X-Men. They couldn't be more far apart from each other. One's really good, one's really bad. I think, but other than
which one, yeah.
I won't say which one, but I'll say that for later. Other than that, I saw a horror film called The Devil's Due, and it's about.
Yeah, I've seen it.
You saw that one?
Yeah.
It was about a young couple. They just got married, and the process. Well, they got married. They get married. They go on honeymoon to. I think it's either. It's Cuba. It's very Latin America. Okay. I think I'm pretty sure it's Cuba. Yeah. It's their last night of honeymoon. They meet a mysterious cabman. He talks them into going to a special club. Some weird stuff goes down. Yeah. And
What weird stuff?
well, I won't spoil it. I won't spoil it.
Yeah.
You know, some weird stuff that goes down once they get to this club.
It's all in the name,
Devil's Due. She gets pregnant.
Devil's Due.
Sounds like Rosemary's Baby.
It's a little bit like Rosemary's Baby, but not quite the edge. She goes back to the States. She's pregnant, and there's all these weird things start happening to her and inside the house while she's pregnant. She thinks she's going crazy, and it just builds up. Like most horror films are meant to have a build up when and at the end there's one long, it's meant to be intense scene, but it just failed to get any type of intensity at the end. You know, things like The Conjuring, Insidious, Rosemary's Baby, it all builds up and there's one big thing at the end of horror films. Those are the best horror films, but it just didn't have that edge.
I think it was a bit predictable as well. Like you knew what was coming.
Horror films always are predictable, that's why I don't watch them.
Not
I
always.
saw the trailer for that. How did it rate
Mostly.
for the scare level? Like, how scary was it?
Not scary at all. Out of 10.
They never are.
I don't, this is the thing. It depends.
Insidious was.
Yeah.
It was spooky. It wasn't scary, but it was like. Because when you watch it again and again, you always find out something that you never saw. Like, oh, look at that guy just ran past.
Yeah. It's
It's
not.
spooky like
I
that.
don't get. This is the thing. I don't get scared. I don't get scared easily. There's nothing that's truly and really frightened me.
Unless it happened to you.
So I've seen. So I love horror films.
It's pretty scary then.
But you don't like this film?
No, it was bad. It was bad acting, bad script. You know
He
these.
was in it.
No well-known actors.
They never are known.
They tend to be disjointed.
No, they ain't.
No, they kind
No,
of.
sometimes if they're like.
Alright, we're gonna move on. Michael, what have you seen recently?
The film I saw was Maleficent with Angelina Jolie, and it wasn't just because she was in it, but that did help.
Okay, cool.
But they definitely stayed true to the actual Disney cartoon.
Okay.
But I was hoping they would have a more darker edge to it, because when she played the bad version, because she was meant to be good in the end, she was deep down, she was good, she started off good. But when she did play the bad character, she done it really well, like the evil laugh, everything. She's really nailed it.
Angelina Jolie.
She could
But the
play
movie,
it.
yeah, but visually it was brilliant, everything. the creatures, herself, everything. It was,
But what about the story?
the story was good. Like I said, it stays true, and obviously in the end, there's a, I won't spoil it, but it's still out now, so it's got a great twist at the end.
Okay.
And it doesn't end how you think it's going to end. So basically, you see it from her point of view. It's all from her side of things.
Disney, but is it?
It's a Disney film. No, it's not. It's not horror.
Okay.
Tim Burton was originally going to do it, and I think if he did, and Angelina Jolie was in it, it would have been much better. It would have been darker. It would have been everything.
I can imagine him doing things like that. He likes to kind of take nice childhood things and just like Nightmare Before Christmas, things like that.
Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah.
Did that.
Alice in Wonderland was banging.
Edward Scissorhands.
I love
childhood
it.
things and
I
you
love
just
it as well.
twist it.
Right, Janika, what have you seen recently?
I've seen X-Men, obviously the new one.
Yeah.
Days of Our
Days of
Future
Future
Past.
Okay.
I loved it. I loved, as much as this girl gets on my nerves, Jennifer Lawrence was brilliant in it. And I have
Why
to
don't
say,
you like her?
she was
Brilliant.
much better
actress.
than the actress who plays Mystique in the original X-Men movies.
Okay.
She's much better.
I don't think so.
No, I
Don't
love
you?
her because she's
Why?
more emotional.
Can I hear why you don't? Why you
The
disagree?
actress, gosh, her name seems to escape me now, but she's a bit Mila Djokovic-esque in the fact that supermodel turned actress, and she has this really great edge about her. She does remind me of Mila Djokovic, just edge. I don't know if it's the modelling thing, but she has this edge. She's mature. You feel like she's a grown woman, you know?
She is a grown woman,
that's
though.
the
That's
point.
the difference.
That's the point. The original Mystique in the latest films, she's meant to be, she's meant to have no emotion. She's meant to be dark and evil or whatever and mysterious. But the new Mystique, Jennifer Lawrence, is it? Lawrence, yeah. She's meant to be
a more innocent,
emotional.
sweet.
She's how she begins. And the whole film is about.
You don't always
how
start
she
off evil.
And the film's about how she becomes from that to that.
But in the second
it's
film,
meant to
she
be
gets
too-
there's more of the ruthless Mystique is meant to be coming out, but
Yeah.
I don't think she doesn't play the ruthless Mystique as well as.
But that's the
No, but that
70s.
was
You
the
got to
point
think
of it.
about
That
it. It
was
was
the
the
point.
70s, and in the original, that's like 30 years between.
Yeah.
So imagine how much she must have grown. You have to give her time.
Remember,
it makes more sense.
Remember the movie is about how it begins with that first kill, the first murder.
And then she doesn't
And she
murder.
doesn't do it in the end. They change the whole story, the events.
But when she's meant to be ruthless, I think it's not as convincing. I think
Alright, so we're gonna-
I disagree. I think she's a.
Right.
I loved her when she opened the dress and she was like, "Oh, you don't like what I'm wearing? Did you like that bit?" I loved it.
And Rachel, what is your must-see movie?
My must-see, I'm going to be a bit different. There's a film called Lucy. Scarlett Johansson stars in it, another one for you to go see, Michael.
Okay.
I think the other only well-known name in it is Morgan Freeman. You know, he's in everything. It's a sci-fi film.
Called Lucy.
Yeah, I think the crux of it is there's this lady, she is captured, but somehow, as the film goes along, you see her, she wants to get revenge, but whatever they do to her, because remember it's sci-fi, it increases her brain power to eventually she could use 100% of your brain. So the thing is, what could you do if you could use more than 10% of your
Limitless?
brain? It's a bit like that.
But Limitless was
But obviously
poor.
Limitless is okay.
Same concept.
It's a little bit, but it's all about yourself and in your mind and your brain power and what you could do. I think that's interesting because I've always wondered, imagine if we could use 20% of our brains.
Yeah.
You know, even just
I wonder
15%.
like how much people actually use.
We use 10%.
All of us.
Yeah.
We got all. we got all.
Every
Like
brain
Michael.
is different.
Some geniuses, they don't choose 10%.
What are you looking forward to seeing?
So many. Do you know? I'm gonna say it. Mrs. Brown's Boys.
Yeah, of
I
course.
want to see it. I watch it at home with my nan and my sister, and we all just laugh our heads off. It's
That
just,
is a Nana's show.
yeah, it's brilliant. It's funny. It's my guilty feel. It's,
You know what?
brilliant.
I have heard. I've heard good things.
It is
about
so funny. It's just
Yeah,
so.
it's been good
It's
funny,
natural funny. It's just
Yeah.
like you just.
It's not forced funny.
Yeah, you have to laugh. You just can't help it.
I really can't stand that show.
That kind of thing is not for everybody.
Yeah. Alright.
But
Janika, what about
it's
you?
brilliant.
What is your must-see?
It might. I don't know if it's out yet, but Faults in Our Stars. I just love it.
Oh, I heard
It's
out.
It's out.
I love it. I love it. It reminds me of like Perks of Being a Wallflower, and that is like one of my
that was
absolute favorite
That was
films.
really good.
The new actress, she's starring as the new Mary Jane, I think. She's meant to be the new Mary Jane in Spider-Man.
Oh yeah, she's not going to be anymore. I heard.
Is it?
Yeah, I heard.
What's her name?
I'm not sure what
I
her
forgot
name
her
is.
name.
What's she been in previously?
Yeah.
she's in this new big blockbuster movie. That's why she's not going to be in Spider-Man, because she was going to be in this new Spider-Man. I can't remember. You know when the name just escapes you.
Okay.
She is in this new big blockbuster movie. That's why she was originally going to be in Amazing Spider-Man 2, but they cut her scenes, and now she stated in an interview she's no longer going to be in.
She didn't seem like Mary Jane.
She didn't.
She didn't fit Mary Jane.
Oh.
The character she's playing now is so different that she just didn't seem like she could play Mary Jane anyways.
So that was very interesting. Now it's time for our Mum of the Week with Rachel.
Okay guys, so I've just finished watching our Mum of the Week, Transformers Age of Extinction, and boy oh boy do you have a lot to say about it. Let's go downstairs and have a quick chat. Transformers Age of Extinction is the 4th instalment of the Transformers franchise, and Michael Bay yet again manages to produce a clustered, messy film. It's unnecessary, it has an unnecessary CGI, pointless dialogue and poor editing. Now the 4th film picks up where the 3rd film left off. However, we are introduced to a new cast. So Mark Wahlberg is now the male lead, and he's supported by Kelsey Grammer, who plays a CIA villain, and also Stanley Tucci, who plays this weird mashup of like a Steve Jobs, Bill Gates character. Now these are all proven actors. Mark Wahlberg, unquestionably, he's A-list. Kelsey Grammer, you know, he's Fraser from Frasier, and he was also Beast in the X-Men trilogy. And Stanley Tucci, he's a chameleon. He could play anyone. We've seen him in Hunger Games, Devil Wears Prada. So I think they did the best with what they were given. Now it's not all negative. The new female lead is played by Nicola Peltz, and she is a bit more believable. She gets in a lot more of the action than her predecessors, Rosie Huntington-Whiteley and Megan Fox, which shows that she's not just there to be a piece of eye candy. Now, she plays the 17-year-old daughter of Mark Wahlberg, who is an obsessive Texan inventor who has yet to invent anything of use. But it's just not believable. I mean, Mark Wahlberg doesn't even have a Texan accent. I know Shia LaBeouf isn't going to be winning any popularity contest anytime soon, but I actually think I preferred him as the male lead personally. He fitted in perfectly as this teenager who stumbles across these amazing alien robots. Now, the film could have been about 45 minutes shorter. There was 2 points in the film where I thought it was going to end. But oh no, we're going to space. But it didn't quite work, and then after that we were going back to Japan. It was a bit disjointed. My mind started to wander, because there's only so many times you could watch alien robots kind of pulverize each other through the big cities. So if you're into that type of all action, slow motion shots, then this film was perfect for you. But if you're looking for something that's well written, has great action, and is well put together, then don't waste your time or your money.
Right, so before we get into our big debate, Michael, can you give me some DC characters and some Marvel characters?
So with DC, you've of course got Superman, Batman, Flash, and with Marvel, you've got the Avengers, Captain America, the Punisher, yeah.
Okay, so of course, my question to you guys are, what do you prefer, Team Marvel or Team DC? Janika?
Team Marvel.
Why?
Because they're just more appealing to me. Like, they've just released countless and countless movies. I know DC have, but all I really know is Superman and Batman. I don't really know anything else about DC.
Okay.
Marvel, they've given us a variety. There's so many movies to choose from. There's so many superheroes to choose from.
So if
I just love it more.
DC created more films, would you be Team DC?
Well, they'd have to create more films that were as good as Marvel. Because Superman wasn't. The Man of Steel was boring.
Alright,
No.
Michael, you're itching to speak. Go on.
Well, I don't actually have a particular one that's my favourite, because Christopher Nolan's Batman was awesome. I mean, he nailed that. Yeah, and Superman was pretty good. That needed a reboot for a long time. That was a reboot coming. Yeah. And it was rebooted well. It was how would you have done that differently?
But the thing is, you're saying it was rebooted well, but it's still is it as good as X-Men?
In its own, yeah, it
No,
is. It
no,
is
it's
as
not.
good as X-Men.
No, it's not.
It was. It is as good as X-Men.
Man of Steel.
Yeah, it was.
It was.
No, it wasn't.
Thank you, Rachel.
Be honest, it wasn't.
It wasn't.
I disagree. I think it was.
Rachel, what are you, Team Marvel or Team DC?
I'm going to say like Michael, sit on the fence. It's mainly because I grew up with both so much in my life. Going back to the 90s, I remember Tim Burton's Batman films with Danny DeVito as the Penguin. That was like darkness on a whole new level for superhero
It was
films.
brilliant, yeah.
And remember DC have Watchmen, and personally that's my favourite superhero film made to date.
Okay.
But then Marvel, again, I used to watch all the X-Men cartoons. I read a few of the comics here and there, and all the cartoons. So I did love X-Men. I think they did alright with the Avengers. I enjoyed the Avengers. But Marvel brought in more money, I think.
But if
than
you had to
DC.
pick, what side would you be leaning to?
I'm gonna. Do you know, if you ask me again in 2 years' time, I'll probably have a completely different
Because
answer.
they've got so many great movies on the way, you know, with Batman
They're trying
versus
to recruit
Superman.
they're very beating everything DC, so don't sleep on them, Janika. Don't sleep on
I'm
them.
not sleeping
That's
on
true,
them.
yeah.
I'm going to sleep on them
As a
for
film,
now.
as a film
I'll
fan,
sleep on
I
them for
can't
now.
just completely shut them out because I'm seeing they're bringing in Zack Snyder. They brought the big guns. Zack Snyder is probably one of the best out there when it comes to making those dark films. You know, when you see Dawn of the Dead. I didn't like Sucker Punch, but the way it was filmed, that was
Sucker Punch
really
was
good.
brilliant.
So Zack
Sucker
Snyder,
Punch.
he's doing Justice League, he's doing Superman, and he's
And
doing
Christopher Nolan's
Superman
also
is-
Christopher Nolan's also the producer for Superman as well.
So
Whoa.
with Zack Snyder and Chris Nolan working together, you give it a couple years, and I think people will completely change how they're feeling towards DC. People like how Janika's saying, so you can't sleep on them. And there's a lot more to DC that people don't know about.
That's what it is.
Maybe that's what
It's
it
not
is.
known enough.
Yeah.
They
I
don't
don't
show
feel like
more
it's-
of the characters, you know, the
on DC.
Flash,
But
Wonder Woman.
Marvel started out. I was thinking, oh, why don't they bring out this character? Why don't they bring out that character?
And
Give
then
it a
they
few
did.
years, they bring it out. So
Yeah.
with DC, there's so much you could do. Like DC Comics had an alter ego for Superman Bizarro, who was just completely. That was really popular. So you never know, they might bring in a darker Superman. They could do. I think they'll play it very differently to.
You think they're gonna bring a dark Superman?
That'll be wicked.
I think the Superman. No, I
Something
think,
needs to happen to
I think with
Superman.
the Superman No, I think with the Superman movies, they're gonna make him. They're gonna head towards a darker path.
They
will.
need to.
And I
because
think
they
with
are.
Marvel, with
it was
Because
really
Marvel's on top.
boring.
I think Marvel's on top.
I think with Marvel, like it's more than just superheroes. There's so many, social stuff they go into. You can compare the struggle of mutants to the struggle of different people in society.
It is.
Yeah.
It's always going to be relevant. Marvel are always pushing those boundaries.
Yeah,
I
that's probably
think.
what happened.
See, with Marvel, their films they expand more, and they're linked more together, and the stories are so much more bigger than DC. But with DC, if they can make the right movie, if they have the right. I mean, look what they did to Green Lantern. That movie could have been really
The
good.
Green Lantern.
It was so hyped
Ryan
up.
Reynolds.
It was so hyped up, and then when you watched it, when you
Ryan
watched
Reynolds
it,
What was
as a
it was just
superhero
so-
was
Green Lantern is
ridiculous.
probably one of the
Drag.
most popular DC characters. Outside of Batman, Superman, everyone wants a green. Everyone wants
Yeah.
a ring. Everyone wants a green ring. Everyone wants to make all the shapes out of this.
so
alien
what
power.
happened with this movie?
It
killed it.
looked so
They-
weird.
yeah.
But this is
Something else.
DC been making films for years, and I think they're trying to like when you see the old Superman stuff from like the 60s and 50s, it was all kind of gimmicky and tongue in cheek and really quite bad. They've been trying to move away from it, and I think they were going in the right direction
Good.
with Tim Burton.
I think
But
so.
they fell back with the first Superman films they made in 2000s, mid 2000s.
Yeah, I get you.
They fell
'Cause
back.
I'm not gonna lie, Christian Bale as Batman
Yeah.
is one of my favourites.
And
Well, it's a shame.
Tom
he's not-
Hardy as Bane
It's a shame he's
was
not going to be in
brilliant,
Justice League, isn't it?
but at the same time, you can't have two superheroes holding it down for the whole.
For the whole franchise.
Just Superman, Batman, Superman, Batman.
Yeah.
There's
But then
many
there's
characters.
so many mediocre Marvel films. I think
Yeah, but I
there's
think
a lot of
it is the
mediocre
lack
Marvel
of
films.
Daredevil.
Daredevil.
Yeah.
I think the Spider-Man films
Elektra.
are average.
Whoa.
Elektra.
Don't talk about Spider-Man like that.
Spider-Man
Andrew
films are-
Garfield.
And she hasn't even seen the latest
She
one.
hasn't seen the
I
latest
haven't seen the latest one. I don't need to.
The latest one was brilliant.
All
No,
the-
it wasn't
all the-
poor.
No, it wasn't.
It was not
All of them
poor.
are poor.
I know
I
it
think
wasn't.
I
I could sense
think
it.
I would agree, even though I haven't seen
Apart from, I said the only decent Spider-Man film was the one Sam Raimi did. And I'll
Nah.
stand by that. With Dr.
Was
Octopus.
Tobey
When I
Maguire in
first,
it?
when I first
Yeah,
found
but
out,
If Tobey Maguire was in it, I don't.
I think he
I don't
was
wanna
good
see
enough
it.
for me to enjoy it without
Yeah, like
Tobey
Tobey
Maguire.
I really
He was
don't.
good enough without Tobey Maguire.
when I first found out there was going to be a reboot, I thought, no, this is
'Cause it was
it's
too
not
close in
needed.
time
But then
as
when I
well.
watched it, it was surprisingly they nailed it.
See, I was the opposite. I was excited for the reboot.
No,
I said a
because
second chance of life, and I saw it, and I was
Nah,
like,
he's suits
Alright, so it
Spider-Man.
was lovely hearing what you guys had to say. We're going to go to the public now and see what they had to say. Team DC or Team Marvel? Are you a DC or Marvel fan?
I'm a Marvel fan.
Definitely DC.
Marvel. Marvel, by far.
I have to be Marvel, you know.
Actually, I was thinking about DC because it's Superman, and I really like the love story and about the man and the girl. So I would say DC.
Oh, it's hard. You know what, yeah? I'll go with Marvel, because of Spidey.
It's more appealing for me, I don't know. I really don't know. I just like it more.
I think from a film's point of view, they've been quite consistent. They've given us a lot of films.
I don't know. I just think it just kicks like DC.
Superman, I mean, who's the best superhero?
Who doesn't like Marvel? But, come on. You got Spider-Man, what else have you got? Even when you read the comics, they've got so much to it.
So that was nice to hear what you guys had to say. Any surprises?
Not really.
I wasn't surprised that people preferred Marvel to DC, but I was surprised that they said the reason why they preferred Marvel to DC was because of Spider-Man.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I thought that too. I would have thought it would have been X-Men
Or
least.
Or the Avengers.
Or the Avengers. Spider-Man.
But that's because
I love Spider-Man.
that's because the reboot of Spider-Man was so good.
No, I think people were
Have you seen
thinking...
the new one?
I have seen both of them.
And you think it wasn't good?
I thought the first one was okay. I thought they're going someone, then the second one is like...
Jamie Foxx as a supervillain is a bit random, but I bet you it was good. Jamie Foxx as a supervillain.
You haven't seen it, so you can't comment.
I know, but I've seen
it,
with
and
the
he
blue
was a bad
makeup,
And your comments
and it's
are
a
wrong.
bit random.
No, because Electro he's like a little sellsword. He's a villain that just goes to the higher bidder.
But that's how the character's meant to be.
And that wasn't
he
the
was
character
like
in the
that.
film. No, he wasn't. He was.
He went off with the Green Goblin, Harry Osborn.
Alright, guys, don't
He
give it
did.
away.
He went off.
I know. I haven't seen it.
It wasn't like
Go
that.
see it and then you'll know. That's why everyone said Spider-Man. Because it was.
So what do you think we can expect for future Marvel or DC movies? Or what would you like to see from future Marvel or DC movies?
I'm always gonna go with darker.
I just want to see the young Magneto. That's all. I love him. I do.
I'm just looking forward to seeing how Marvel's going to connect stuff more. Like if maybe they're going to connect Spider-Man to X-Men. I know there's the whole copyright issue, but they are starting to
loosen up.
Yeah, because they're starting to the companies are starting to be in talks with each other. And I'm just interested to see because Marvel's very good at expanding its universe with the whole, like the Guardians of the Galaxy, which is due to hit theatres soon. Yeah. That's going to link with Avengers, and the main villain is going to link with Avengers 3 apparently.
Is it?
I just love how they link everything together. It's very
because you got X-Force and all these other brands, fringe groups, and.
Do you know what's weird though? Is that a lot of it is based in New York City. What their superheroes never clash. It's a Spider-Man from New York City.
And they never meet up. That's just...
And that's it, Bear gets destroyed. It's like fixed in like
on
2 minutes.
On the DC side of things, I'm looking forward to Justice League of America, hands down.
That's been a long time. I would love Justice League to come out at the same time as Avengers 3, just to see.
Just to see the divide.
It'd be brilliant.
It'll be darker. We get to see some of the characters.
It's gonna happen though.
But it depends on
it's gonna happen with Batman versus Superman.
I think casting will be key for Justice League. Casting will be the most important thing. They already got Zack Snyder on board.
Well, who's playing Batman?
Because they did get it right in X-Men.
It's all still up in the air.
No, but the guy's gonna play. What's his name? He played Daredevil.
J-Lo's ex. Sorry.
Oh, I know.
Ben Affleck.
Oh my
God. Affleck. That's it.
I think he's random.
Like Jamie Foxx.
No, but I think he's just gonna be the Batman in other movies. He's not gonna be. He have his own solo film.
I hope he doesn't.
Because it will be too close. Because
he was Daredevil.
They've just done the Christopher Nolan Batman. How can they have a whole new trilogy of Batman movies?
Yeah.
It just happened. So he's gonna be the Batman in different movies. He'll probably be the Batman in Justice League. Because he's gonna be the Batman in Batman versus Superman.
He shouldn't be the Batman at all.
Batman versus Superman is gonna be quite
like
cool
he shouldn't have been Daredevil.
And I'm looking forward to more female characters.
He is an actor. You got to give him a chance.
Marvel or DC?
But not a superhero.
Both. More female characters. I think more DC. I think Marvel.
They got Wonder Woman.
They did a Wonder Woman film years ago.
There's
always talks about a Wonder Woman.
Who knows
film.
about that? No one knows.
But they don't. Apart from Catwoman, which is horrible. Yeah. Halle Berry.
I like Catwoman.
She was great as
They did a Catwoman with the new. what's her name?
The original Catwoman.
Eartha Kitt, back in the TV
Catwoman.
series.
Yeah.
She smacked it as Catwoman, Eartha Kitt in the TV. Batman the TV series.
And Catwoman was in
Who was the new Catwoman?
Catwoman in Batman. Anne Hathaway.
Anne Hathaway.
She was
needs
good.
her own movie. She was brilliant.
I think she surpassed everyone's expectations.
Yeah.
She did, because when I heard, I was like, what?
I like the realism of the Batman movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except for the city.
Do you disagree?
Gotham City.
No, but DC in all of DC things, it's always fake cities. They don't do real cities in DC. That's a common.
Brilliant.
Well, it does kind of make it like Marvel. Like I said, why don't they ever?
But so they're all in different. They're all in DC. They're all in different made-up cities.
Yeah.
In Marvel, they're.
I don't think they're all New York in.
Not all, but they should collide more.
Maybe Spider-Man was on holiday.
No. Originally, it's Marvel Universe, so they're meant to have all over the world as well as.
And that does happen.
Yeah, but not as I think.
It's
remember,
a lot based
remember,
in
like
America.
in X-Men. Remember in First Class, you had Moira McTaggart. She's meant to be a proper Scottish woman, and she was just an American woman. So they kind of do narrow it down a little bit.
We'll give it time. Soon,
I think
it's going to happen. They're all going to clash.
Age of
connect.
Apocalypse is meant to be Egypt.
Right,
So
so
that'll be
lastly, do you think that DC is going to overtake Marvel? Rachel?
potentially yes.
Michael?
It's possible, but Marvel have so many movies planned that maybe not.
Janika?
To be honest with you, DC just doesn't appeal to me really. So.
Justice League needs to hurry up.
Yeah.
Then let's see.
And then we'll see
Fireworks
everyone,
will.
ooh, DC, all of a sudden, we'll see.
Right, that was a very heated debate for my panel. And clearly we can't decide whether Team Marvel or Team DC. So let's go to the cinema.
Let's go.
Who's buying the popcorn?
Right, that's all from us today, guys. Tune in next week where we'll have our special Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, where we'll have more movies, more gossip, and more reviews. Ciao. Can I have some popcorn, please?